Ordination is an event that is filled with great joy and also great excitement of all those who are present. I think anybody who has the opportunity to attend an ordination is changed. It gives them an insight to how the Lord's at work in their life. We're now going to hear from seminarian Mark Dunmeyer, who shares in his life how he's come to see God in the smallest things, but also how he's come to recognize God in the bigger picture of his life.
One of the things I really enjoy doing is photography. And I have a camera that I love to use, but it's not just the camera that excites me. It's the way that I can capture God in the world. I'm often able to meditate on that when I'm taking pictures and thank God for the beauty that surrounds us. One day, after what seemed like about a decade of seeing my priest, he asked me the fated question. He said, "Did you ever think about becoming a priest? I think you would make a good one." And I promptly said, "No, thank you." He said, "Okay, what are you worried about?" And I said, "Well, I won't have a family." And he said, "Yes, you will. You're going to have a huge family. You're going to be part of the presbyterate. All the priests will be your brothers. You're going to have your parish, wherever you're assigned, that becomes your family. You're going to be baptizing children left and right, all the sacraments." And I just felt a warm embrace from God. I felt the love that this is what I was called to do. And I walked out that day sure that I wanted to apply to the seminary, to become a seminarian on my path to a priest.
It took me a while to catch up to the call of God too. After all, a vocation is a mysterious thing, and it takes time to mature until we can embrace it as our own. But when we accept the call of Jesus in our lives, he can do powerful things through us, like consecrate bread and wine, administer the oil of healing, and bring his presence into a world that needs it now more than ever, and by forgiving sins.
The path to ordination to the priesthood is a long journey that each seminarian sets out on. And as he travels along, he's given many years of what we call seminary formation so that he has an opportunity to make sure he's truly answering the call that God has placed before him. We now have the opportunity to listen to Chris Pujol reflect on what he's found to be fulfilling along his journey preparing for priesthood, and also what he finds to be inspiring, which may surprise you.
I think one of the most fulfilling aspects of formation so far is to see the great love and support of so many people within the diocese, from the priests, from the other seminarians, but most importantly, from the faithful. They recognize the gift of a vocation, and they recognize that it's not necessarily something that belongs to us, but we accept it, and by putting ourselves aside, we get to give ourselves fully to the people of God, and they're so appreciative of that, and they recognize the value and the importance of the call of God in our lives deeply. And they recognize that without future priests, the church will start to falter a little bit. And to see that they love deeply helps to form a seminarian's heart to love deeply and to share deeply in their lives as we're called to lay it all down for service.
Both our seminarians and those men preparing for the permanent diaconate spend time throughout their training learning how to surrender to God all that they have been given, their gifts and their talents, using them for service in the church. There's a powerful moment in the ordination liturgy where the man being ordained to the diaconate or the priesthood literally lays down on the floor of the cathedral on that cold marble with the prostration as the litany of saints is being sung.
Pray for us.
symbolic moment showing that they're surrendering and giving over to God all that they have received. Bob Stauffer, who is an aspirant for the permanent diaconate in our diocese, now shares with us some of his reflection of what that means to give his life over to the Lord.
Retired Pennsylvania State Police Trooper. And in 2014, I took the job here at St. Paul's as the maintenance director. I know that I'm not alone in this journey because of the closeness that I feel with God. But I also feel that closeness through the people that I meet. They'll come up to me and shake my hand and smile and wish their best for me, and they just want people like me to succeed in serving the church and, in essence, helping them too. I've seen how much I've grown so far in these few short years that I've been involved in this program, and I see the priests and the clergies that are retired or going to retire, and I can see how much more I can grow and how much more fulfilling my life will be.
In the ordination ritual is the promise of obedience.
Do you promise respect and obedience to me and my successors?
I do.
Where the man being ordained comes before the bishop kneeling down, placing his hands inside the hands of the bishop, promising him respect and obedience, that openness to trusting that the Holy Spirit working through the bishop will send this man into his ministry where he's most needed. Our international priests truly live out this promise of obedience as they have made great sacrifices, giving up the comforts of their homes, their family, a church they're familiar with, to travel to be here in the United States, in the Diocese of Greensburg, in serving our people. Father Ron Macchignana, one of our international priests, now reflects on his time here in the Diocese of Greensburg and his service to our people.
It's my first time to be out of the Philippines. I was kind of excited to see what is in the United States. Every time the bishop would tell me, Father Ron, you need to go to this parish. My first reaction is, well, Bishop, if that's where you think I can be of help, I will obey. And I recognize that authority and position that he holds as something that is given to them by God. The people here are kind of like, you need to know them. Once you know them, that's the time they can start opening up. I really find my time here as a blessing. I kind of enjoy and I'm happy being able to help the people. I kind of see the need here of priests. And because of that, I can be of help to the diocese wherever the bishop would send me.
It's not about becoming this great person, this figure in the church. It's about serving the people at all times. It's about becoming a vessel for the work of the Lord, of the Holy Spirit. That's what I love.
I look forward to serving the diocese in whatever way that my diocesan bishop calls me to. And he's going to love to hear that. But really just a sense of total self-gift, both to the church but also to the diocese and to its people. So whatever he needs us to do, we're called to respond to that.
The whole program builds upon itself, and each phase of it is fulfilling. And every time we finish a phase, and I feel more fulfilled, and it just strengthens me to pursue it further, and it's just made such a difference in my life. I'm actually a different person, I believe.
We
we are reminded as we read the Gospels that Jesus was constantly with his disciples, even after his ascension as he gave them the Holy Spirit. We're called in our own journey to imitate Christ, to accompany and walk with others, to preach the gospel in our own ways. That's the ministry of the church. And we're called to also offer our support and to accompany those who are preparing for service in the church, our international priests, our deacons, our seminarians preparing for ordination. The Lord invites us to imitate his example and to offer our support, our love, and our prayers.